Hello, my name is Emily. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the CrazyFlippinMom, and I'm sitting in my backyard, so I feel like I shouldn't be. I'm a loud person. And I feel like I was whispering there. For me, that's probably a normal tone. Okay, focus. Today we're talking about a couple things, a couple easily avoidable mistakes that you're probably gonna make this Q4. And I'm gonna say these mistakes like, duh. Everybody knows this. Knock it off, you're so dumb. But I only know these mistakes because I have, in fact, made them myself. Gasp, I know. And I'm gonna share them with you and hopefully you can avoid them, right? Okay. Went to Walmart today and they are stocking Christmas. My little heart cannot take it. I took all the pictures, all the videos, and this really leads me into a style of sourcing that I love. And I know I'm talking about things to avoid, but let me just drop this here first. I love taking pictures and then coming home to research. This really helps avoid the FOMO of like, I gotta fill all the carts, I gotta buy it now, like go. Because standing in a store, you're not always making the best buying decisions. You might be going into a store with kids, with a plan. You might have to get groceries. You might be hungry. You might not have a lot of time. It might be busy. And all of these extra factors lead to stressful buying decisions. And then you get home with this stuff you bought and you're like, wait, did I buy this because I was like panicked because I thought I had to buy something? And you weren't really buying it because it was a good buying opportunity. I want you to raise your hand below if that resonates with you. And I tell myself all the time, and this is what I teach in the community, in the CrazyFlippinMom community, but the amount of times I actually go in the store and I'm like, oh my God, good deals, clearance, and then I just start buying, and later on I'm like, oh, I can't even sell this. Perfect. Like I'm still like, okay, that's an avoidable mistake, making sure you actually can sell the product. So what I prefer to do is take pictures, and then when I'm at home and things are quieter, I can pull up the pictures on my phone and just easily start referencing Amazon and seeing, okay, if I buy this at Walmart for this price, here is what I can sell it for on Amazon. And then I can look at things like, what is this 30-day average selling price? What is the 60-day average selling price? Are there IP alerts and things on the account, on the listing that make me nervous to buy? Or is this going to be a quick flip where I shouldn't go too deep because I noticed that a big seller will jump on and lower the price a lot, or I expect this product to hit stores across America soon and I know the price is going to tank? All of those questions and factors really come from sitting down at a computer and looking through Seller Amp and dissecting the information available to you to make sure you are putting your money into a good investment. I love that we have the Seller Amp app on the phone because then you can see like a snapshot of the listing. You will be able to see a lot of this information, but I do feel like still there's this anxiety and stress of standing in a store aisle, especially if you're gonna plan on buying a lot, that you don't have when you're sitting at home and you are a little like slowing down, looking at the information and taking notes and really able to see a fuller picture. I really don't know many people outside of the clearance circles. I love shopping clearance, as you know, but most people are placing online orders, and all of that is, you're kind of set up for success because you are an enclosed environment where you're not like the employees are hounding you or asking you questions or other people are talking to you. You're a little bit more locked into what you need to be doing. So I guess my first easily avoidable mistake is stop making big buying decisions standing in a store aisle, especially if it's over like $100, $200, and it's on one product. Go home, take a moment to make sure this is in fact a good product to spend your money, and then go back to the store or place the order online for pickup or delivery. Okay, my second tip is really important this year because Amazon is really cracking down on their catalog, all of their listings, and removing listings that do not operate within the terms of service. So things that are misbranded. What does a misbranded listing look like? It looks like it's a Starbucks product, but it's listed under generic. It's listed under coffee. It's listed under Folgers. None of those really tell you the brand is Starbucks. So those are considered misbranded. So you want to make sure you're selling products that are categorized and labeled correctly on Amazon. There have even been instances where not only Amazon is removing the listing, kicking off sellers, sending claims, but deactivating and restricting sellers, because really this has become such a big issue, and you can see this really bleed over into the bundle category. And this is a hot topic for Amazon right now, where they're removing bundles that again are not set up correctly, that are like 2 items and then a spoon. You see this a lot in confectionery, baking, candy. What I love to sell is you'll see 2 bags of candy and then it'll be like a recipe card on how to make cookies. And it's really important before you jump onto a bundle, before you create listings, you understand that when you jump on a listing, even if you're not the creator, you are taking responsibility for selling that product. So if Amazon ever does crack down on that listing and you have sold it, it's in your catalog, you have active inventory or you don't have active inventory, you could still get in big trouble, removed, restricted, deactivated from Amazon. Listen, this is something they're not playing around with right now. And ever since like the past year and a half, they've made big changes to their catalog and send some really clear messages that they're done messing around with people creating listings that operate outside the terms of service. So maybe before you do anything else, after this video, run to your Amazon catalog and make sure every listing is correct. It's healthy, it's strong, it's branded correctly, it's not in the generic category. Just tidy up my eyeballs. I'm gonna say all of these are important. I know I will. I think we see a big wave of sellers just simply moving to Walmart, and Amazon has become really expensive right now to sell on, and we're coming into peak season fees, so we're gonna see the price hike even more. This is an issue for all sellers. Like, this is hitting all sellers equally, but it's hitting the morons among us who do not understand operating fees and seller fees on Amazon. And again, I'm saying morons, like I freaking have not just gone in on the buy box and later on I'm like, holy crap, yeah, I sold 200 items, but like 100 of those, I wasn't really profitable. There is this urge to sell in Q4. I don't know, I'm possessed maybe, but I will see the end goal. I'm like, oh my God, this sells 500 times a day. I go get the product from Walmart and I sell hundreds a day, and I am already operating on really slim margins, and it can just take a couple price drops and you're not profitable anymore. When I tell you that happens all the time in the next couple months, because you're just trying to win the buy box and you see the orange bars and you see the sales. I would imagine if we took a poll amongst all Amazon sellers, previous, now, even the future unborn sellers, they have all lost money on Amazon. Like, we've all gotten caught up in the FOMO. Okay, and I get it that sometimes you want to move a product and get rid of it because maybe it's close to expiration issues. Maybe you just want to get rid of it. It's just not profitable in general, so you drop your price or like, get it out of here. I get it, because that's most likely cheaper than liquidating or throwing it away or having Amazon throw it away. But there is this like drive to the bottom. If you're a new seller, you're probably setting and resetting your prices manually yourself. What you need to know that on Amazon is a lot of people have repricers hooked up. So when you lower your price 5 cents, 10 cents, it's not other people, me in Iowa and Kentucky, and getting on and actually manually lowering. You're competing against computers. So sometimes lowering the price, I would say a lot of times, is not the option, is not the best move forward, because the lowest price on Amazon doesn't always win. And I would say the lowest price is a factor among a lot of factors. I have found a lot of times, because I have been selling a long time, I have good reviews, I have inventory, I have good selling history, I can actually raise the price 25 cents, 50 cents as a merchant seller and win and dominate the buy box. So simply lowering the price to win the buy box is not a strategy. Before you try to lower your price, I would take a step back and look at the listing in a different view. How many sellers, how many FBA sellers versus merchant? I think the first step is to look at your competition and how much they have in stock. And not just, okay, I'm not winning, but I think there's a bigger question of why am I not winning and why is this person winning? And if you can really start to decipher that on all of your listings, you will be able to like take maybe incremental steps forward in making changes in your business. For instance, if you find that I am beating you in the buy box and you see, oh, I'm offering 1 and 2 day shipping and you aren't, that's a huge reason for dominating the buy box. So simply going and updating your shipping template and offering expedited options can put you a step forward. And my next tip is that, and this goes along with selecting healthy listings, but sometimes you don't realize that brands are going to come after you for being on products. Okay, and this is a question I get a lot of, and I think new sellers are afraid of brands. And okay, this is a valid fear. I always say, like jokingly, but not, you should be much more afraid of customers than brands, but like they both can do equally terrible damage to your account. Okay, so brands coming after you, this is a good one to talk about, because just because you get Amazon's approval to sell on a listing, you get ungated, does not equal brand approval. So Amazon could approve you, you can sell Nike now, and all of a sudden Nike steps in and they kick all the third-party sellers off. Unless you have like a letter of authorization from the brand, you probably are not going to get back on that listing again. And this is a much bigger conversation, but I just want to show you that there are ways to know that if the brand could or could not come after you. And again, if I listened to everybody and everything that told me, oh, this brand is coming, I wouldn't sell anything on Amazon. It does happen from time to time, but it's like once every couple months, a brand, and you kind of like writing on the wall, you'll hear like, oh, this brand doesn't like crazy art. This brand they're pretty aggressive. They don't like people selling their products, third-party sellers on Amazon. So you kind of have a heads up. Maybe you can get in and out quick. I honestly would not advise or suggest that, but having a way through SellerAmp to see and make sure that this could be an intellectual property issue in the future is good to know, and just deciding, hey, it is worth it to sell it. I don't see a bigger issue here like in a keep a chart, but I know I need a merchant flip it, get in, get out, remove my listing. I feel like this is, like I want to say if there's an IP alert, you definitely need to abide by it, but there are so many IP alerts, so many people who are like Hallmark is one. People are like, oh, don't sell Hallmark. I've never had an issue. Brock's is another one. I've never had an issue. And I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm just saying, is it worth a grain of salt? No. You should be aware. And I think it should inform your buying purchases, maybe how deep you go. But if a brand does step in, what does that mean? Sometimes they'll send you letters, and the way a brand should operate is either one, they send you a notarized piece of mail, usually from a lawyer or from the brand, that says, we see your third-party seller on Amazon. They want more information, your invoices, maybe your LOA, etc. And you know, okay, I need to get off this listing pretty quick. What happens is like the poor man's IP, where you get just inundated with emails through your Amazon seller account that's like, hey, we're the brand. That's not really the proper way to be contacting third-party sellers. It's operating outside of terms of service. So when you get those in letters, or not even letters, emails, it's very difficult to know, is this another seller sending me this information? Is it the brand? Why would they be doing this? But sometimes it can lead to more. So it's worth asking around in the community you're in and saying, has anybody had an issue with this brand? The other thing that happens is Amazon restricts the brand. And sometimes you get an email that says, after this date, you will no longer be able to sell this brand or product. Sometimes all of a sudden you wake up and all your product is stranded and the listing is gone. They kicked all the third-party sellers, and you're like, okay, well, that was good to know. I'm not selling that anymore. I mean, this is a part of doing business, and it is what it is. It's honestly like out of the list of scary things that could happen on Amazon, it's not the top. Honestly, customers scare me. They are so unhinged in the next couple months. All they have to do is push a button, they're drop shipping, and you're suspended. So I really try. I mean, I don't want to make brands irritated either, but you're never directly dealing with anybody at the brand. Usually it's like a third party or an automated email, but dealing with customers, I'm a lot more careful on. And maybe this is a good tip. Like if you're coming from eBay and this is your first time selling, I feel like on eBay, there is this like wiggle room of I sold something, and sometimes you're selling higher price items on eBay than you are on Amazon, and you feel like you're getting taken advantage of. So you go back and forth with customers. You're like, send me pictures. On Amazon, I always say customers can do more harm to you than you can do to them. And that's not a threat. It's a promise. So when you are interacting with customers, Amazon expects you to operate like they would operate, which is refunds. We know that. But also, I just think maintaining a level of customer service. That is the word. I try to remain very automated sounding on Amazon, and ChatGPT can really help with this, because I feel like as soon as a customer knows they have a human on the line, they dive in, like ask all the questions. Sometimes they get petty, but if a customer feels like, oh, this is an automated response, there's not a lot of back and forth. I do try to keep it civil. And at the end of the day, is getting your account suspended worth like a bag of candy? What are you selling that's worth like losing your account or having issues? I try to just keep it civil, make the customer happy, and move on with my life. I want to do volume on Amazon. I'm not really getting hung up on a sale here or there. If you're selling high-end products, I don't even think Amazon is the place to go for that, because you just don't have protection. Well, I would not say Walmart is the place either. I feel like you have the most protection on eBay. If you're selling something on the high-end side, like phones, electronics, I think that stuff will attract scams on Amazon. Again, this is all my personal opinion and my point of view. I have been selling what feels like forever on this platform, and things change over time. And I'm sure other people are saying maybe the other side of the story. And that's why I feel like Amazon is interesting, because you have a lot of people saying a lot of different opinions, and it doesn't mean anybody is necessarily wrong. We're just all approaching the conversation differently, and it also depends on what you're selling, what's the relationship, because that also really impacts the conversation then you have about listing health and brands and etc. etc. I am a retail online arbitrage seller, which means I'm looking at stores like CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Target, finding products that I can sell for profit on Amazon. So my relationship with Amazon is I'm moving fast products. I'm not married to anything. I'm not developing my own product. I'm not private labeling. I'm not getting pallets of anything. I'm moving through products really quickly. So I don't really want to get hung up or connected too emotionally to a product that I can't just like quickly regroup my money and move on. Does that make sense? I think one of the steady issues I have had every year for Q4, and this year will not be unique, is finding money to fund the season. If you can believe it, it is an endless black pit on Amazon, and it doesn't seem like any amount of money is enough. And if you're coming to Amazon with a small budget and you're like, I wish I could do more, don't. Use what you have. I remember my first year, and I've done this every year since, so not as much now, but especially when I didn't really have a credit card for Amazon, I was using cash that I made from eBay and Poshmark and rolling it over. I would write down my product, like if it was Crayola, if I had a 2-pack of crayons, and I would have my SKU and I would have my profit, and I would know if I bought 50, here's how much profit I could make. And then I would do that with all the products on my roster and see which one am I making the most profit, and that's really how I knew what I could buy that month. But I feel like sometimes when you have more money, you're more prone to make mistakes, because you're just not looking at the pennies and the small little fees that add up and the returns and what products have higher returns. You're just moving products really quickly. So sometimes having a smaller budget is not the worst thing, especially when you're getting started and you don't really know what to do and what to buy, because you are more likely going to lose money. You're going to make bad purchases. So yes, it kind of sucks your first couple years not having an unlimited budget, but I'm always looking at the positive here. Start where you're at, start small, make good decisions. And listen, when you make a bad decision and you immediately are like, I suck at this, I should quit, I'm not good at this. Knock it off. Knock it off. If you can't even get out of your own head and realize that the expectation is not to fail, it's consistent growth, what do you do? Like, what do you expect to start and immediately just success, success, success? Like nothing. So I think that's a big issue. It was for me when I started and I stopped selling on Amazon. All I did was fail like the first 6 months to a year. And in fact, I pulled all my inventory and I was like, I suck at this. I'm never doing it again. And I obviously came back to it. But when you inevitably do buy something you can't sell or sell something you're not making money, it doesn't just mean you're bad and you shouldn't do this and you should move on. It's a lesson. And if you look at it as a lesson, you'll realize, wow, okay, that actually will make me more in the next 6 months, that you understand the lesson, and not that just you're a bad seller right now, but asking why. Why did I make the sale? Why did I lose money? Why did I win the buy box? Why did I lose the buy box? Why did the brand come after me? What was the matter with this listing? I think that's such a more productive way to move on in this business than to just say, I'm terrible, and move on. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Head games. The head games are real, especially when you work for yourself. You don't have somebody around you to like bounce ideas off. It's on you. The numbers don't lie. So if you make a bad purchase, that's on you. And you don't have like the communal aspect of work to be like, look what we did today. It's on you, and you feel that like heavier. It's a load on your shoulders. But listen, that's how we all feel, and that's why I think community, I always talk about community, is so good and so important, because you feel less alone and realize it's not just you struggling, it's everybody. We're all figuring it out. I meet a lot of other sellers like us in the retail arbitrage space, and you'd be surprised that most of us don't come from a background of working at a grocery store, buying groceries, buying direct from wholesale, buying in bulk, anything like that. I was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids. So I am learning every aspect of this business, from buying and keeping books and selling and what to do with stranded inventory firsthand. And you most likely are too. And so the goal is to never fail. I think the goal is to understand and learn your lessons so you don't keep repeating them. I hope this was helpful. Go download Seller Amp on your phone, so when you are sourcing, you're not just out there making decisions without looking at the information. This is a pet peeve. People buying and they don't even know if they can sell it. But put in your costs on the back end of Seller Amp on your phone. You can add all your fees, all the placements fees, all the peak season fees, anything you want to add in for prep, your gas, your bags, the time it takes you. So when you put in the cost of the product, you're seeing exactly what you're making, and you're not surprised at the end of the month when you thought, oh, you're making a lot more. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Until next time, cheers.